Hey guys, this is Davey T from Field Sports Scotland. I've spent the morning getting all the gear out my truck because my truck's been recalled for Nissan Navara by Nissan because of the Nissan Navara chassis problems. So I thought, well, I'll sit and talk about some of the equipment that I use and run you through it. Most of it is going to be torches and stuff like that, but as a lot of people know, I'm out every day. I'm either shooting deer or foxes or rabbits. I do a lot of night shooting. I'm not going to show you my thermal. My thermal took a swim, so it's away getting fixed at the minute, so I can't really show you that. It kind of went splash. Nothing I could do about it when we were stalking one night. So we later found out that the XQ30V is not waterproof. Sorted. So that's something that I should add to another review in future. But IPX4 is not submergible, even at that amount of water in the river. Well, okay. But we'll talk a bit about torches. We won't talk about... none of the stuff that I use is terribly expensive. That is one of the things I'm going to come across here. I don't spend a lot of money on a lot of equipment. Most of the time, the equipment I use is quite cheap and affordable, and that's generally because I'm a father of 4 kids and I really don't have a lot of money to spend. No matter if I'm making money working in things, a lot of that money is going into my household, so it's not going into all my equipment. However, what I have to say is I have a problem. I think my name is David and I have got an addiction, especially when it comes to torches and lamps and all sorts. But a lot of that is because I use them. Now, first of all, we'll talk about the famous, or as I like to say, the infamous Nightmaster 800. Now, I do not like this torch. This product is not worth the money that people are asking for it. And the reason for it is it's got simple problem flaws, like I've mentioned before, where if you're zooming at night, and the head comes off. Now, there's other products in the market that genuinely this doesn't happen, and they're a lot less expensive and far more powerful. Now, far easier to use, far more powerful, a lot more facilities with it. Now, Nightmaster commented on one of my previous YouTube videos in regards to torches, and they said it was to get access to the pill. Now, if that's how you get access to the pill, you take the head off, that's fair enough. However, let's take Laserware. This is an IR unit. This is the X30. It's a small one. Now, to get access to the pill, you take the little cap off and you take the light out. There you've got access to the pill. You can remove that, change that to green, red, white. It's an IR that's in it just now. Now this is good out to 300 yards, and this one only cost me like 25 quid off the Laserware. They do refurbs and all sorts of stuff, which is great, so sometimes I'll just go and get a refurb. Now, when I'm zooming, now this is the most important bit. This is the bit that really does make a difference. I get 350 yards out of this one little torch, if I don't break it. And when I zoom, as you see, it doesn't come off. Now, I know that's maximum zoom. In the middle of the night, when it's pitch black, when I need it most, I know that's the maximum zoom. See, all the way up, all the way down. And it's the same with the big torch. It's the same with my favourite, the X70. Far more powerful torch. Again, zoom. And flood. Now, I fixed a little flaw in this, which has made it a little bit tighter, which is good. And that is, over time, the head comes loose, and I put a little bit of plumber's tape or duct tape or whatever around the thread, and that tightens it up. So it doesn't make the head wobbly, and you'll get a more true, straight thing. Now that's £70 for that torch. Now you can buy the kit for £140 or £150. It comes with IR, comes with green light, and comes with red light. All very powerful, all very usable, all running off the same 18650 battery that you get with the Nightmaster, except their one has branding on it that you can recharge. Comes with a little charger kit as well, with a double charger kit. Also comes with an extension bar, so you can extend it out to here. All for about £140, £150 for the full kit. Now that's the full kit. Now, yeah, so you get a lot more money than that for your money. You get a lot more torch for your money than just that bit of kit. You do get a charger, a little cheap Chinese charger, and you do get a pair of tweezers for taking the pill out, and you do get a couple of other bits in there, right? However, to be fair, and you get spare rings, spare O-rings and stuff like that and that glows in the dark. There's a couple of nice features on it, but it's not as good as what everybody makes out. Now shop around, look around. Don't just go and take a Nightmaster because somebody takes it. Somebody else has a Nightmaster. Have a look at other products. Laserware, LED Lenser, they all do far better products for less money. So go for that. Now, I'm not going to spend the rest of the time slagging off Nightmaster. I have got a bee in my bonnet about them because I think they have become very complacent over the years, and they're more selling on reputation than what they are selling on product, and that's my problem. Now, another torch that I use is the Devon Tracer IR400. This is on the Yukon Photon. This is off the rifle just now because I've got day scopes on it, because we only have about an hour's worth of night time at the minute. So it's hardly worthwhile having the night vision. But that's only for a couple of weeks, and then this will be back on when I'm back from holidays. So, but this is the IR400, which is a wee Devon Tracer. It is brilliant. Now that's actually invisible. So invisible light is just because the camera can pick up IR. Now, love that little thing. It does me out to 400 yards. Perfect with the Photon, and we'll come back to the Photon later. Head torches. Now, these are a little bit expensive because I know you can get your Energizer ones from supermarkets for about 15, 20 quid, and they do well, but nothing does better than the LED Lenser SE05. Now, I got a couple of these, and the reason why I got a couple of these is because my son lost one, and then I found it again, so I got a couple of these. Now, the SE07 is even better, but it commands another extra 20 quid. These are about £50. I got them, I think £49 or £45 or something like that each from. I actually got one from John Robbery Wholesale with Bisley, and then I got the other one from Toolstation, and they're both about the same price. So good bits of kit, and absolutely essential if you're working at night, especially when what I do in the winter time is working clear fills and stuff. The one night this year I left my head torch at home. I almost took my finger off. So there, it kind of is really important, you know. I landed up in hospital getting x-rays and stuff like that. I cut all the way down my knuckles. As you see, my knuckles are all really bad. I cut all down my knuckles and everything. So it's really important for a head torch. Doesn't matter what it is, some sort of head torch on your head. I picked this one because it gives me the maximum light. It also spots zooms and floods, which is handy. And it's LED. And really, it's just as powerful as a Cree 2000 or like one of these T20 torches on your head. So it's a big must. This is one of the musts. Now, knives. I'm not going to show you this one because this one's dirty. I always pick a Mora knife. Coming that they're about £12 each. They hold an edge, and when we're doing maybe 10, maybe 20 sets of legs a night. This one will last me a night and then before it needs sharpened, and that's ideal, absolutely ideal. As I said, you can pick these up online for about 12 quid, 13 quid, or you can pick them up. I go through maybe 1 or 2 of these a year, and they're really great, they're good. Every lamp, every torch I comes with these. They're quite they're quite good, not just for torches, but for other things, for clamping stuff to your rifle, to your scope, or whatever. Again, absolutely great bit of kit. What else? A lot of you are wondering how I managed to get some good footage with my spotting scope. Now, Carson do a little kind of device. It's a bit fiddly, but the spotting scope stuff, I can attach my phone to it, or I've got a spare phone that I usually have that I take a lot of footage off of. I attach the phone to it, and that does a lot of kind of stuff as well, which is good. Big talk at the moment, because stocking season starts in a day or so, on the 1st of July, or is it the 1st of July today? Oh, stocking season starts today. God, that shows you my seasons are up my backside. So the Red Stags and the Sika start in Scotland today, and a lot of big talk on binoculars. Now, I am going to peeve a lot of people off here because the fact that they will say, well, I'm not going to compromise on my binoculars, and I will pay £1,000 or £2,000 for a pair of binoculars. Now, if I had the money, I'd probably do the same. I'm going to be honest. But these ones, £80. Barron Stroud, 12x50s. They do me real good, even up to low light. I use them all the time. They're in my car. I drop them. They've been in rivers. They've been all sorts. They've got a waterproof bit. I've even left them on the hill for 2 days. Went back to the same spot and there they were. I've left them on fence posts. All sorts. But for £80, I could buy 100 of these compared to. No, I couldn't buy 100 of them, but I could buy quite a lot of these for the price some people are paying on one. Now, the quality of the glass is not the best in the world. I'm going to say it's not up there with your Zeiss. It's not up there with your Swarovski. It's not up there with a lot of your stuff, and it's not even up there with Vortex. A lot of the Razer stuff is quite good as well. Now, but it is up there with those ones that people are buying for £400-500 when this is only 80. Now, I've come across a lot of people who have agreed with me this. I did a review on these a while back, and they turned around and said, well, it's cheap. You can't, they're not going to be any good because they're cheap. And then I had 1 or 2 people that turned around and say after the review, well, it's that cheap, I'll go and I'll try them. Now, they're still using them for stocking. Now, I see a lot with this that people still see with Swarovski and whatever now, and it doesn't command that price. So I've got to admit, a couple of pairs of these will do you in the truck or whatever. If you want to get an expensive pair, get an expensive pair for the truck. Get a set of these for taking out in the and putting in your pocket or sticking in a pouch or in your smock or something when you're out and about. Because if you lose them, it's 80 quid. Not 800 or 1,000 or 2,000 pounds. So, binoculars. Now I've got they come in different sizes. I've got 8x50, 8x42 there as well set, which are great in low light. So I've got to admit, and Barron Stroud history is just as long as Swarovski and whatever. And the thing about Barron Stroud as well, they're the ones that originally designed night vision. So, to be honest, they're a good brand. What other stuff to use? Lamps. Now, this is my favourite lamp at the minute. It's a Lightforce Enforcer. It's a 240 big bad boy. It's about the size of my head. This will do out to 1,000 yards easy. I really like it. I'm really liking it, and it's great. So I picked this up for 90 quid, believe it or not. Reduced from 250, so you'll get them at different prices, but I'm quite happy I got this at 90 quid, so I'm happy with that. That's a good bit of kit. For a long time I was using this one, which is the Devon Tracer 240. Again, it's a good lamp. 500 yards, 600 yards, and it's a normal 100-watt lamp, which is brilliant. You can't go wrong with that. My problem with them is the wiring. I've had a bit of issue with this with wiring, so I'm having to re-upgrade them all the time and fix them all the time. And so it was time to get another lamp, and I did. I finally got one. So I've had a couple of these now, and they've done really good. And I had one on my roof, and it done really well. So I'm quite happy with that. Now, spot and scope I use, and this is what a lot of people have been getting footage, any of the footage that I've been putting through my phone, I use this. It's not the best scope in the world. It's not up there with your Swarovskis or whatever. It's about £150 for these. This is the Nikon, and this is a Spotter XL. You do get the newer version, which is a Spotter XL 2 for about £250, but it's good. It comes with a little pouch you can stick in and put on your belt or whatever. Attaches to a tripod, which I've got a few, and that genuinely is what it gives me a lot of distance. This is 16 to 47 by 50, and I do like it. I use it every single day when I'm out, and sometimes I use this over the binoculars if I want to get out to longer distances. It has a little bit of an issue in regards to when it's at maximum power. It's a little bit too sensitive, but again, I'm not really worried about that. It gets me into whatever I need. And if anybody's seen my roe deer footage recently, it was videoed through this. So that's my normal spot and scope for when I'm out and about. What else have I got? Going to talk about the Yukon Photon XT 6.5 by 50. Now, there's a lot of talk about these. A lot of people say they have problem zero, and I've never had a problem with any of the Photons. And some people like them, some people don't. And to be honest, I actually really like them. These ones, this one that I've got now, are going for about £300 a piece at the minute. Now, if you want a night vision scope that can do you day and night, which you can do using this little cap, the Yukon Photon is still the cheapest on the market and still up there with some of the best night vision units. Now, I've got to admit, you do have to put an additional IR on, because the one that comes with it is only good to about 100 yards. I have shot foxes at 300 yards with this. I've shot rabbits up to 200 yards with this. I've shot foxes 200 to 50 yards. I've spotted right out to 800 yards while using the X70 as an IR, and I cannot fault this unit. You know, yes, the picture can be grainy at times. Yes, it takes a lot of fiddling about and stuff like that. But for £300, put this on your 2.2. You're shooting rats all day, you're shooting rabbits all night, and you're shooting foxes all night. Put this out there. I've had this on my 243. I've even had it on my 270, and it copes with it really, really well. It takes 2 AA batteries, so if you run out of batteries, just jump into your nearest garage and grab a couple of batteries. You're not having to wait on something charging up or whatever. I usually buy, excuse me, I usually buy some cheap-ass Tesco's ones or Asda ones and fire them in. I've always got 100 of them. You buy 36 for 12 quid. Buy 2 lots of that, 3 lots of that, and there you got shooting for. You've got shooting for night and day for a good while now. So this usually lives on my CZ455, but as I said earlier, I put a day scope on it because I've been doing a lot of kind of other testing, long range testing, ammo testing and things, which the Yukon's no good for. So and we've had a lot of daylight lately, so again, there's no point having the night vision on. And normally, if I'm not got it on the 2.2, I'll put it on the 243, but I'm currently testing the Pulsar Ultra on the 243 at the minute, and I'll be doing a review on that over the next day or so. So, but this is a good budget scope if you want night vision right there and you need it. Don't be afraid, because everybody says they're hard to zero and that. They're not hard to zero. All you have to remember is keep it The objective, 1.5 centimetres above the barrel. Below that would be ideal, but 1.5 centimetres is fine. And make sure you don't have a stupid 20 MOA or 30 MOA rail on your rifle, because these only have a limited amount of adjustment. So if it's already sitting at 20 MOA for the rifle, you're not going to get that elevation adjustment to get it into 0. And that's when a lot of people become a few problems with it. Also, 0 MOA rails. Now I put cheap ass rings on this. This is Dovedale rings that I've got on this for slide on my CZ455. These will be coming off because I put the rail back on the CZ455. So when this goes on, that's great. But that's the Yukon Photon 6.5 by 50. Now, what else to talk about that I've got here? I've talked about the knives, I've talked about my scope, I've talked about a few torches, midgy stuff. My midgy stuff. Now, I don't believe in creams and sprays and all sorts. I don't believe in creams or sprays and all sorts. I've got this in my bag. This is Jungle Formula. See this Jungle Formula? It's useless. Now I wear glasses, right? And I swear this stuff melts stuff. It does, and it has been known to melt. The reason why it doesn't have a cap is because the cap melted. So plastic, if you've got anything in your bag that you don't want wrecked, you don't keep this in the same compartment. Trust me, because this stuff will melt. Now, Jungle Formula is supposed to be the best on the market. Now, you get other products like Smidge. Tried it, useless. The wipes, oh my God, you get bloody midges stuck to your face. What's that all about? No, what you need, and the only thing that ever works in the Highlands, in the forestry, is one of these. It's a full-on midgie jacket. You stick it over your head and zip it up, and you have this. Now, you can pick them up from anywhere between 13 quid and 21 quid, depending on, but the midgie jacket is the most important piece of equipment you will ever need if you ever come to the Highlands of Scotland. Trust me, because you can't even change a tyre at night time. If you get a flat, you're driving along, I'm out with the kids, no rifle, you're not even hunting, and you get a flat tyre. Can't even change a tyre because of bloody midges and the clegs and all sorts. Midgie jacket. You're sitting having a barbecue at night and everything's great, it's roasting during the day, sun goes down, and midges. Need the jacket. You're sorting out your gear at the back of the truck and you're sitting in the driveway, you're not even out shooting yet, and the midges are out. Jacket. Everything needs this jacket. You can stick it under your hunting jacket, you stick it over your hunting jacket, doesn't matter how you wear it. The worst thing in the world is when you got midges hitting your face. Now that is probably the most important piece of kit in the summer to have in the Highlands, no matter what you're doing. So don't rely on sprays. Everybody says, oh yes, the SES use Skin So Soft and things like that. I used to have tubs and tubs of Skin So Soft. Never worked. Jungle Formula, look, loads in it, never use it. I use this for guests, even if I'm Gillian guests or whatever, or if I've got them out in the river or something like that. I'll give them this because it kind of acts as a placebo. But after an hour or so, they're getting attacked again, and what's the point? Now, I don't provide midgie jackets to all my guests because I used to, at £20-30 a pop, 13 to £20 a pop. Some guests disappeared with them. Some guests disappeared with them. Some guests ripped them and things like that. And when you're only getting like £60 a day for Gillian on the river, there's no real point in. You'll end up only earning 40 quid a day. Or if you've got 3 guests all run away with your jackets, that's lost your wages for the day because you've lost it in midgie jackets. So if you ever come to the Highlands, whether to do some hill walking or to do some shooting or to do some fishing or even just to visit some of the lakes, make sure you get a couple of midgie jackets. It'll save you a heartache, an absolute heartache. It's not worth it relying on these because they don't work. They'll work with certain insects, but not on the midges, and the midges are the ones that are a problem. Spare mobile phone. Always keep a spare mobile phone. Never know when you're going to break your mobile phone, and I use this for recording, so it's handy to keep a spare mobile. Usually a good idea if you charge it. Oh, it is charged. See? It is charged. So, yeah, it's usually a good idea if it's charged and working. What else? Bag. Now, my missus made this for me. It's great. It's a little bit heavy, but it's great. I use this for everything from balancing off the window of the car to steady the spot and scope, or to use as a shooting rest on the 2.2 because I don't have a bipod on the 2.2 because it's in and out of the vehicle all the time, or just for zeroing on the butt bag. Now this is, I don't know how much this probably would have cost to make. You can pick ones like these for 80-90 quid, but this one was made for me and it's probably about, well, I don't know, 40-50 quid, maybe 30 quid maybe. The most expensive part's probably the beads inside. So handy thing to have, always keep in your truck. It's great. Various filters for your lamps. They come in handy. They do. And got my GoPro jackets. Now, there's been a big talk about equipment lately in regards to wearing stuff. Now, I'm a great believer of light and quick drying, because there's nothing worse than being out on the hill all day with fancy pair of trousers, £200, 250 Hercules or Suede Tame or something, and guess what? You're soaked to the skin and it's contained all that moisture and it becomes heavy and it becomes really hard to walk, and you've got another 10 miles to go back to wherever you're staying, and you've got to sit in the car or whatever. Now, that really peeves me off. Now, I work in, as anybody who actually knows me, I work in all conditions. I work in, if it's minus 20 outside, we'll still go out and shoot, if we're on contracts or whatever. If it's plus 30 outside, we'll still go out and shoot if we have to get the job done. It's about comfort. In the end, it's about comfort. Now, the cold is not always an issue when you're stalking or when you're walking or when you're shooting, because the fact is, the more you're doing that, no matter what the temperature is outside, your body temperature is always going to be the same and you're going to sweat. Now, if you sweat, you're going to cause yourself lots of problems, especially if it's below zero. You will become very cold very quick, and it doesn't matter how many layers you've got on, you'll become very cold very quick. Now, I always swear by a good winter jacket. You can pick up a ProLogic, for instance, for about £80, or you can pick up a Mossy Oak and use base layers. Now, your base layers are the most important part. Now, you'll get guys that are going out and paying £300-400 on a Hercule jacket. This is not a fashion statement. This is comfort and safety, not a fashion statement. Now, I use a pair of £30 trousers. They're quick drying and lightweight. The most expensive part usually in my kit is usually my boots, which I use Bestard. A lot of people will know that I kind of favour Bestard. Now, I've tried Hercules. They were useless. They couldn't keep my feet dry. Les Chameaux, all the lace loops broken, things like that. Quality just wasn't there. Mindles weren't comfortable and they didn't keep my feet dry. And various other boots. Jack Pike, do not buy Jack Pike Tundra boots. I went through 3 pairs. They're absolutely useless. I ended up leaving a pair in the States. You know, when I was in Tennessee last year, I actually had a pair. I used a pair, just brand new pair, so I could leave them, because you obviously don't want to bring boots back. Now, when I was shooting in the States, I left them in the hotel room. Simple as that. They were 90 quid. They looked great. I really wanted a pair when I first saw them, and I couldn't believe my eyes when I got them for my birthday, and I was really happy to get them and things like that. And then one night on the Clarefells, my feet were so bad. My boss, I actually had to ask my boss to stop so I could change my socks and put plastic bags over my feet inside my boots so I could finish off the rest of the night. My feet were like ice. I will never go through that experience again. And as I said, I had similar issues with the more expensive boots, more expensive brands like Herkia and things. So when the boys at Ballastech come up to me and said about the boots, they turned around and said, "Bet you'll not have a problem with these." 3 years ago, and I said to them, that was 3 years ago, I said to them, I don't believe you. I don't trust anything on my feet these days. To be honest, I'm at my wit's end with it. Now, I'll tell you one thing. I have not had an issue with those boots for the last 3 years. And I've got a new pair sitting in the cupboard, a brand new pair sitting in my cupboard just now that I've not even touched because I'm still wearing the pair that on a daily basis. So, don't get me wrong, I'm not very good at maintaining boots. I'm not very good at maintaining anything, to be fair. We were just talking about one of my expensive tripods. I'm on Froto here, this one here. And I had a problem with the feet. So, genuinely, that's about £100 to £200 worth of tripod there, and I kind of broke the feet. So we're doing a bit of repairs on that just now. So yeah, the boots are the most expensive part, but when it comes to trousers, I have a pair of percussion £30 trousers that I wear. If they get ripped on a fence, or if I'm stalking into a beast and I'm having to go through mud and crap like that, they dry off within about an hour, which is great. In the car they can dry off in about 10-15 minutes, and that's even when it really soaked, I mean properly soaked. I've been wading in rivers and all sorts of stuff, and they'll dry off. I'm feeling comfortable for the rest of the night. And in fact, I have to say this because a lot of guys will be turning around and saying like, oh well, he's just promoting this cheap brands and stuff like that, and you get what you pay for and things like that. Now, when I first started contracting with Game Management Scotland, my nights were the most uncomfortable nights could ever be. They were difficult. I was coming home absolutely drenched from head to foot. We were out in hurricane force winds. We were out in all weathers. And we start midday, finish midday the next day. And I was uncomfortable. And that is because my choice of product that I was using was for people who were advising me. Because of the advice I was given, they were recreational stalkers and stuff. You should buy this and buy that. Now, I bought a £180 Deer Hunter jacket, and all the inner tapes came off, and I had to go and get store credit for it. Things like that. And it just wasn't benefiting me. It really wasn't. So I guess what I'm trying to say is just think wise. It's not always the most expensive thing that you need. It's usually the most comfortable thing you need. Anyway, I'm coming up to using a hell of a lot of my memory in my phone just now. And that's like 33 minutes of listening to me waffle. If you get any questions on products or anything that you want to speak to, I've got a couple of reviews coming up. I've got a review on the Zeiss 5-30 by 50 scope, the Conquest V6. It's a great scope, by the way. And my wife won't buy it for me, which I'm angry about. And I also have the N355 Ultra, the Pulsar N355 Ultra night vision unit that I'm going to be reviewing. So thanks for listening to me waffle on as per usual. Catch me on fieldsportscotland.com for some of our reviews and things like that. And catch me again, subscribe to my channel. You'll see a kind of thing down there, probably down there somewhere or up there. I have no idea where I put it. Subscribe to my channel. Got a wee competition going as well. Once I hit 1,000 subscribers, you'll get a night's bed and breakfast and a morning or evening stop with me in the Highlands. So you just have to make your own way there. So I'll throw that in. Once I reach 1,000 members, I'll have a prize draw. So anyway, guys, Thanks for again. Subscribe to the channel and I'll speak to you later. Bye.